welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo 2, Episode 10. So, you may remember in the previous episode we notably completed the Global Compact Car Cup, and of course I potentially hinted that I would notably be doing the just getting a look at my Demio there. I notably said I may consider doing the Japanese Nationals, and well, when I had a look in the events, I eventually decided I wasn't going to do that just yet, but instead I'm going to do presumably the final event that officially has a race that does not require a license. And that, of course, will probably be the Lightweight K-Cup from what I have done in my research. So, I'm going to head back to the main screen, head over to East City, because at the moment I'm basically purchasing all my cars from East City, considering obviously all of them are Japanese. And so, I had a look around, and well, since I realised there weren't any Hondas or Subarus available for the event, I eventually decided I was going to head to Daihatsu and buy myself this. The Daihatsu Quare DRSX. So I had a look between the two cars and I eventually decided I was going to go for this one. Essentially because I think this car looks slightly better in grey than it does in white. Also because essentially I think for someone like me it would probably make more sense to drive in grey than it would in white. But anyways, now we are going to do some tuning, and the reason why I chose a Daihatsu is also because it's cheaper. So just gonna have a look and see what tuning is available. So I can potentially get a stage 1 turbo kit if I wanted to, but just depends on knowing how much power the intercooler will give me. Okay, 66, and a turbine kit will give me 105. Well, I probably will need to do some tuning. Well, I probably will need to do some tuning over time. So, I think I probably will purchase this one just for race 1. But obviously I won't fit it now, mainly because it's essentially for just in case. And for reasons I shall explain in a minute. But I'll just have a look and see what there is. And oh, okay, this car is a turbo. And no additional horsepower from the computer chip. Damn it. But again, I do wonder how much horsepower the racing exhaust will give me. 67. Do I really want to do it? Fuck it, I'll put it on. Essentially it's just because I want to be cheap. And also, I have a turbo kit. And just gonna have a look through, see what else there is. And that is expensive. Nope. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work out very well. Unless I know there's a better choice I can use. Well, we'll just have to wait and see, but if this doesn't work out, then obviously I'm just gonna return to the Demio instead and see how I do with that. But anyways, going to head over here to the Lightweight K-Cup, as we have 3 races to get through. And also, it is interesting to note, of course, that essentially the first race has a higher maximum horsepower requirement than the other two do. But yeah, let's see how we go for race 1 at the Rome short course. Considering obviously I really don't know if this will or won't work out. Because I do have a racing exhaust on, but obviously I don't have anything else besides a stage 1 turbo kit. And well, essentially overall, I kind of feel like I probably need that, but again I don't know for sure. Well, I'll just put it on. I'll put it on just in case, and let's see how race 1 goes. Considering obviously I will basically need to remove the turbo for race 2 essentially. And I really don't know if I do or don't need the turbo, but I've just got it on for this race, you know, mainly because obviously this race has a higher, you know, a higher horsepower maximum than the other two races do. So obviously I really don't know for sure. And well, the reason why I chose the Daihatsu is essentially because I felt as though I was just wanting to give this a try, and also because essentially overall I figured of course that, well, if this one doesn't work out, then I may potentially buy a cappuccino instead of this one. Because, well, I could either do that, or I could basically just use my Demio instead, and obviously I won't have to spend too much, essentially. Considering obviously this is officially my first attempt at doing this, and I'm really hoping my experiment does become a success. As I make a little bit of contact there with the cappuccino, but I don't think it's going to result to anything serious. Considering obviously there are many different lightweight non-K cars that are officially allowed to compete in this event. But anyways, I win race 1. So we had another Daihatsu Quarry in this event, along of course with a Suzuki Cappuccino, a Subaru Vivio, a Suzuki Salvo in this event, and we also had a Mitsubishi Minica Dangan in this event. And the reason why I chose the Daihatsu as well, because I was wanting to be cheap. So another $5 grand for winning, and we also get a new car as well. so now of course we are going to get on with our second race at the Seattle Short Course. And obviously, as you can see there, my turbo is not applicable to this event, so obviously I will need to find a way to remove that. And well, how exactly I shall do it, well, it shall only take me a minute. But again, I shall be right back. The race events, and so hopefully this time, of course, I can officially enter the event. And so, essentially overall, if it's possible, I can now officially enter the next two events. And hopefully if I get lucky without my Stage 1 turbo, I may be able to win them, but we shall wait and see. So anyways, our car is now acceptable for the other two races in this cup, and hopefully if it's possible we can win those two races. So to anyone asking about how exactly I removed the turbo kit, well, I went over to machine test, I clicked the 400 meter test. I didn't actually do the test, I just went over to settings and I went down to the turbo and I basically just removed it. And obviously, as you can see here, because the maximum power is restricted to 98 horsepower, obviously I cannot fit the turbo because that exceeds the maximum horsepower limit. But anyways, let's head to race 2 at the Seattle Short Course. Hopefully with this one, like with the previous one, we can officially win. Except, obviously saying that this time we are at a lower horsepower cap. And we have 100 feet in this field. I really don't know if I will or won't be at a disadvantage in this field, considering obviously the only part I really have on this car is essentially the racing exhaust, which is pretty much the only part I officially have on this car right now, and the only part that can officially give me a power increase with this car, unfortunately. As we also have a Mazda AutoZan in this event. And that's another Daihatsu right there. And I think that's the Mitsubishi Minica right there, and I'm fairly sure that's probably a Suzuki Keyworks, as far as I can tell, because it's either a Suzuki Keyworks or a Mitsubishi, or a mini version of the Mitsubishi Pajero, unless it's a Daihatsu. Probably could be, but again I don't know for sure. Well, I am running competitively at the moment, in spite of me only having the racing exhaust as essentially being my power increase for this race. And I'm down the inside. I'm very much diving down the inside, as I am now up into the lead on the Seattle Short Course. Considering this is already the second time I have officially raced on this circuit in this game. And well, I don't know about this circuit overall, but I still think in many cases for now, I essentially prefer the full circuit, mainly because obviously I've driven the full circuit more times than I have the short course. and at the present time I'm currently doing a lot better than I expected to do for this race, as I'm already getting a nudge from the AutoZam, and I think I'm going to win this one. Victory for Daihatsu. Oh, okay, correction. It was actually a Daihatsu Terios that was in this event. So we had another Daihatsu in this field, as we also had a Mazda AZ1. I'm assuming the AMZ is short for AutoZam. We also had a Honda Beat in this event, along of course with a Honda Life and a Mitsubishi Minica. Banging. Considering obviously the Minica is actually the same age as the Quarry, surprisingly. But there we go, I have won race 2 with my Daihatsu. And another £6 for winning, and we also got another new car as well. Very nice. And now we can officially move on to our third and final race of the Lightweight K Cup, and that of course is at Tahiti Road, which is also officially our first A license restricted event in this game. So let us get on with our final race of the Lightweight K Cup at Tahiti Road. And well, regarding the success I notably had on the Seattle short course last time out, I'm just gonna keep on the racing exhaust, you know, just to be essentially secure for victory. Although obviously I really don't know for sure if I will or won't win this race, but we'll just wait and see. We will just wait and see how we go. But anyways, we are now back to Tahiti Road. So the Honda Beat has returned to race over here. We also have the Mazda back for another event, and I think we also have another Daihatsu in this event as well, along of course with the same Mitsubishi Minica that was in the previous event, or the previous 2 events I should say. And I'm revving high on the engine at the moment, essentially just because I want to keep up with these AI, and I'm currently at a disadvantage, but hopefully I may be able to move my way up to the front, if I'm fortunate. So we have a Subaru Vivio in this event. We also have another Daihatsu, along of course with what I think is a Suzuki. And I'm currently running in second at the moment. And obviously, I would say at the moment I'm currently at the disadvantage, because obviously I only have 67 horsepower, and that's basically the maximum I can put on this car without putting on the turbo, which does put me at a little bit of a disadvantage, but hopefully if it's possible I may be able to keep up with these AI. Hopefully anyway. So yeah, that is a Suzuki, so that is a Suzuki Alto Works I see there, right behind me, and I'm actually getting some good speed off the first couple of corners, and it is actually good enough to put me up into the lead. And I just clipped the wall, but somehow I did not lose too much speed. In spite of the impact I had with the wall. I have not lost too much speed, but anyways. I am currently leading, and I'm actually doing much better in this event than I thought I was going to. And one of them is coming back again. I think that's probably the Mazda that's trying to overtake me once again. But I, of course, am just holding my line. Even though obviously I'm not taking the Richard Petty line. I'm holding on to the lead at the moment. And the Scooby is right behind me. The Scooby is daring to overtake. It's going to be a drag race, but I may be able to win this one, and indeed I do. So, 3 out of 3 for the Daihatsu, and quite surprisingly a clean sweep as well. And also half the field for this race was notably Suzuki's. So we had a Suzuki Salvo mode. A Mazda Speed AZ1 A-Spec, a Suzuki Alto Works Sport Limited, a Suzuki Key S, and at the back we had a Honda Beat. So must be said, overall that was a good race, and surprisingly I was still able to win it in the end, even though obviously I did think I would have to purchase something else, but however it might be, I am wrong. So, there we go. It is officially a clean sweep in the lightweight K-Cup, which essentially overall is the one thing I did not predict I was going to do, even after I removed the turbo. But anyways, there we go. And obviously I will need to save a replay, and I need to get rid of one again. So I think I'm just going to get rid of my remaining licensed replays, because I don't think I need those anymore. And of course I'm going to save this one, as this is now segment number 10. And now we can move on. And we can officially check out our prize cars. So heading back to the home page and heading down here to check out our 3 new prize cars. So from winning the first race we got a Honda Beat, and oddly enough it's not just any Beat, but it's a Mugen Beat, which is basically Honda's tuning house. And so from race 2 we officially get a Mazda Demio A-Spec, which I'm fairly certain is another one of the prize cars that we got in GT1. And also, furthermore, this car is very nice. It's very nice looking, if you want my honest opinion. But anyways, and from winning the third race we get a Honda Mugen CRX 2. And I feel like I should probably use this car sooner or later. I probably will, because I just literally love Love how sexy this thing looks. This thing looks very nice, I'm not gonna lie. I probably will have to use this car sooner or later, if I'm up for it. And officially, in the end of it all, we are now officially up to 5.47% complete with this game. So, that was the Lightweight K-Cup. Next up is the Japanese National Championship. So, with that, stay tuned for more GT2.